The show features adults using adult language and discussing mature topics. You have been warned. I will double
I'll
check.
take a listen to it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Callie says all good.
So. Oh, perfect.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's been a month since we have effectively been in the Mystery of the Silver Fleet here in the verse. So a bit of a catch up. The party all started off in space, and a luxury liner specifically, traveling next to an ocean planet. This ocean planet's one of those ocean planets we don't really give a name to. It's nothing fancy. There's nothing on it to really worry about. At least that's what everyone was told. So, as it turns out, the luxury liner was not so luxurious, and a replacer crashed into the luxury liner in a pod. A seeding pod, the party found out, was probably meant to crash into the planet, but the luxury liner happened to be in the way. So, crashed into the luxury liner instead. Now, the luxury liner happens to be in a threat. The party, doing the best they can to try and evade the situation, intelligently used the vacuum of space to their advantage and traversed most of the cargo to the top of the ship, which was the escape pod. Jettisoned the escape pod with the help of everyone's life suits that they had for the vacuum of space there, and successfully landed on the planet's surface thanks to some ace piloting by the pilot of the group. However, the landing was maybe not so great. And you'll notice we're down a few players right now. They will be joining us later. But their particular players right now are unconscious. So all of you maybe weren't prepared for how rough that landing was going to be, and are picking yourselves up off the floor, or maybe out of a pile of things that you crashed into, either one. And the landing was definitely not the smoothest you've ever had. I mean, it's an ocean planet. You know, the ocean's swaying around and everything because you just smashed into it. So, it was a lot of throwing around. You finally managed to calm down from the landing into the ocean, and now everything seems kind of calm. It's not too bad. Everything seems rather relaxing, at least so far. You find yourself in the escape pod there. A hatch on the top kind of opens up like an iris, spins open there, revealing an escape hatch that opens through the top of the craft. It's as if the escape pod itself has identified that you're on an ocean planet.
I'm the first out.
All right. You are standing on top of the escape pod there. The escape pod itself is relatively stable in this environment here. The ocean itself seems relatively calm. To this, I guess you'd say south, but it's hard to tell distance. You don't really have a compass. It looks relatively peaceful.
What time of day is it on this planet?
The red dwarf star that's providing a oddly red light to the planet is currently overhead. You would assume midday-ish.
Are there any celestial beings in the sky? Are there any moons?
You see 2 moons, of which are quite tiny, but you can see them.
Hello there. Deborah's infatuated with the moon. When you guys get out.
A peaceful sound is heard from beyond the hatch on the roof. The sound heard is simply that of the ocean and the wind. No birds chirp, as there are none you can see. In the distance, above the hatch, you can see an island that seems to have some sort of resort-looking building there. At least, that's what it looks like from the outside. However, the most glaring feature is that there are no creatures anywhere visible in or around the resort. The island looks rather small and mostly featureless except for the sand. The total distance around the island is probably 5 miles, or 8 kilometers for those of you that use kilometers. So in the distance, you can see a resort. Looks like a resort out there. Looks like maybe a 6-story building. It's a very weird looking building. It's very white.
I do have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
and I apologize for interrupting everything to ask this. Would my mask act as a rebreather at all? Considering what you know about it.
Sort of, to a degree, yeah.
Okay.
And providing you have your life suit on, you won't have to worry about breathing if you're underwater.
Ah, okay, that's right.
Because it provides you with protection from environmental conditions. Lack of oxygen is one of them.
I forgot about that.
So
you hear on the outside of the escape
ability to
pod,
function.
Deborah's insectoid-like legs going like ting, attaching to the bottom of it as she climbs around the bottom. Since I have an innate climb, and I am
all of the creatures in this
attempting-
entire ocean,
Yeah.
are bioluminescent. All of the plants are bioluminescent. Every single thing that is alive under this water has some sort of glow. The mushrooms, the reef, the fungus, everything that is underwater glows to some degree. The only thing that doesn't quite glow a lot is the kelp. The kelp is a very tall kelp-like structure, reaching almost to the surface of the water in some parts. Several very large kelp forests have these weird yellowish orange glow to some seeds that grow off of the kelp. The most glaringly identifiable creature here is a tiny fish with a really big eyeball. The eyeball composes of some 60 to 70% of the creature's body. And it has a teeny beak for a face.
I'm assuming everything's
found the
staying pretty
papers.
far away from us, from our escape pod, right? It's a foreign object in the
No,
environment.
most of these fish seem to be very curious as to what you are, and a lot of them have bumped into either you or the craft at some point.
My giant claws. I just like reach my arm out, and then I just like let my arm kind of float in the water, like it's some of this kelp. And when one of the bigger eye fishes get close enough, I grab it.
Okay. They are stupid enough to just pretty much fall for it every single time. And there's like a lot of them. It's not like one or two. There's like quite a large number of them here. It's as if they're put into an environment where there's no predator. Now they're just running amok.
Can I roll a survival check on it? I am proficient. That's why I'm asking. It's just more to come to that conclusion. The nat 17 probably would come to that conclusion that there's no natural predators or anything.
Right. You think that these creatures were not native to this environment. Given you think that none of these creatures are native to this environment. In fact, you don't even know if the plants are native to this environment. A lot of the silt and sand you see floating around here looks like that might have been all that was on this planet. Somebody's changed it or terraformed it. Somebody's added something that wasn't supposed to be.
On one of the many random little pouch things I have on my back abdomen, which is my backpack / saddle seat thing, I just stuff the fish in there and make sure it's like button closed so the fish can't get out.
It wiggles around, but it's kind of dumb. So eventually the fish thinks it's in a safe cave and it stops wiggling.
I like to think the longest claw is her index finger. So I think they're 3-fingered, so I guess it's the middle finger. I use that to cut off a piece of the kelp. And then after I have both those things, I crawl back up to the overtop part of it.
Okay.
All right.
I climb out of the wreckage. How bad does the ship look, by the way? Just
the escape pod looks completely intact. The impact with the watery surface looks as though your jostling around inside was probably the worst of it. The outside of the craft looks relatively intact. You don't know if this escape pod was meant to be piloted across the surface of a water, so you may not get any closer to the shore than you already are.
Wait, how close are we currently?
You're about a 2-hour swim from the island.
About a 2-hour swim.
Right.
Something my character will definitely not be able to do.
So
How can
in the
you see this
ocean.
big island that far away?
But we are floating, right?
Yeah, you're floating on the
we're
surface.
floating.
I'd like to try something.
You know, none of you move quickly in the water because you're not aquatic creatures. So that's why I said about a 2-hour swim.
Yeah. Wouldn't the current actually
it's slowly
get us
moving you
towards-
towards
yeah.
the shore, but it's not as fast as it would be if you were swimming.
So, as an escape pod, it would have some type of propellant while it was in space to stabilize its particular orbit.
Yep.
Is there any way I can rewire those to effectively push us towards said structure?
Technology check.
Yay. 19.
After bending the thrust valves underwater, the complicated part of this, for a little while, and then rewiring the thrusters to, instead of try to navigate you to the surface, to just turn on when you slap a button, you think you've jerry-rigged it enough, as it were, or as the human term goes, that it should navigate you in a singular direction, meaning you could effectively use the controls to direct the escape pod towards the island.
Everyone hold on. This may get rough. I
Might
punch
be any worse than floating around in here.
All right, and you punch it. And the thrusters meant to navigate the falling craft safely to the surface engage quite rapidly. And you get jostled and thrown around a bit. Deborah, you feel a bit of a tug, but otherwise you're fine.
I was about to say my hooked claws just.
Yeah, you're fine.
The rest of my body might like. But
you hear Zora say, "Everybody hold on to something," and then you're like, "Whoa!" And then it just kind of shakes you around a little bit, but you're otherwise fine. The rest of you, if you're inside and you're not buckled in, you tumble around, but otherwise you're okay. And then a sudden stop is felt, and everyone kind of jerks one direction as the craft beaches itself.
I think we're here.
And where did you get your license?
License?
That's about what I thought. And then Talurra kind of hop out.
Aye, that landing was about as smooth as gnomish whiskey.
I got us to the island without swimming. What more do you want?
I'm not gonna argue there. I'm a bit too drunk to go swimming.
You're a bit too drunk for anything.
I could pilot just fine.
Nox just shrugs and is like, I guess it's a bit quicker than my idea. I was about to
paddle it.
No. I was about to construct sails.
Sails would have been a bit slower. We don't know what direction the wind is going.
Yeah,
The wind on this planet seems quite chaotic. Sails might not have been the greatest option.
I'm gonna unass the ship and go to shore.
All
You should
right.
check out that building over there.
Yep.
Everyone, give me a perception check.
Deborah follows, and you notice the tail end of the fish sticking out of her mandible.
Not gonna bother asking.
The fish was quite salty, and it had a weirdly plastic taste.
I thought, ooh, nice, pre-salted fish.
It's like fish, but as if you ate the fish still in the plastic wrap.
What was the check?
Perception.
Perception.
Got a dirty 20.
I got a dirty 10.
13.
16.
19.
All right. Everyone
Nice.
except Nox. Nox, you don't see anything. Everyone except Nox notices the far end of a beach is something in a lounge chair.
There's a disgusting slurping sound as the rest of the tail goes into my mouth, and I start heading that way.
You definitely see something alive in a lounge chair over there.
Where are you scuttling off to?
You forgot your accent.
There's a native.
Just don't eat him.
That depends on how they act and how tasty they. Gives you.
I'm gonna go with her.
Same.
Yeah, I'm going to follow to just.
You have
Maybe
no idea
don't
what they're
eat them.
talking about, but sure.
I mean,
I am using.
they
what-
just said
what is-
that there's a native there. It's like, okay, I don't see them, but
What is the
Okay.
native?
I guess everyone else saw them. So
Right.
What is the native
Right.
term on the Terran say? I am legging your pool.
you what now?
You want me?
I think she meant to say she's pulling your leg.
Ah, that's what it was.
That's an old human term. A very old one, but it
Yeah.
still checks out.
While we seem to be moving in a group, I want to keep my eyes on the structure to see if there's any sort of movement.
None.
Oof.
It seems almost abandoned.
Almost like it's a building.
You don't see anyone in it. Nothing on it appears to be moving. You notice all of the glass definitely has the sheen of some sort of solar glass. meaning the glass also functions as a solar panel.
Oh, so we've got power. Okay.
All right, you head that direction towards the creature in the lounge chair. This particular creature looks like none you've ever seen at all, maybe ever. One half of the creatures, this fits as two creatures fused together perfectly. One half of the creature, the skin looks very humanoid or human-like, except the skin is golden in color, literally as if it were made of gold. There is a big angel wing, like a feathery wing, that seems to be made of metal on that side of the body, folded up behind it as it's sitting in the lounge chair. Its eyes are closed. The other half of its body, however, looks quite opposite. The other half of its body looks as though it's a scaly, kind of almost draconic creature, but the scales look as though they're made of liquid magma. And the wing on that side has a kind of smoky look to it. It looks very bat-like, but also seems like it's just leaking small essence of smoke off of it. You see a bottle of whiskey sitting next to the creature, kind of propped into the sand with a cork in the top. And the creature's just kind of lying there like this with its arms and wings behind its back in the lounge chair, a rather large lounge chair, but a lounge chair. As you walk near the creature, it goes, "You're blocking my sun." And it opens a single eye and kind of looks your direction. What? Well, don't all speak at once.
I was gonna say, Talurra kind of just cocks an eyebrow, looks, and then just steps aside. Looks at the others, and shrugs.
I just have to imagine if that's the first response we get, how many of us just went immediately up to him and just leaned over him to block out this
Right.
sun?
Talurra is not tall enough to block out the sun either way.
Neither is Nox.
I'm a dwarf. Fuck her off.
Greetings. You may call me Deborah. And what might you be named as with your clan?
Seemingly annoyed by even conversation, the being stands up from its lounge chair and extends its wings fully as if stretching. I am called Locathion.
Oh, Cathion. It is a pleasure to meet you. Would your need of some
Locathion bows slightly.
assistance? It appears that you are not quite in the mood for it, which is fine, but do you know the right direction we could go for assist?
Well, welcome to this planet. Congratulations, we're the only intelligent population here. Everything else is dead, or a fish.
So we're the only intelligent species.
You guessed it.
Oh, this is your house?
No. I ended up here. Not a bad place. That was there before I was. Seemingly an old structure. I couldn't guess how long ago it was. Some human mega corporation built it. A long dead one, I would guess. Pretty old tech.
Does the architecture seem familiar to me?
No. It doesn't seem familiar in that scary sense that you're referring to. Neither does it seem familiar to you, Talurra. Which you both feel a bit of relief in that sense.
Just a bit.
Are there any dangers for us to expect here?
If you go deep down in the water, there's one. But if you plan on getting off of this ocean, that's where you have to go.
Let me guess. A really big one.
Won't say really big. It's big-ish. Bigger than me, but...
But why do we need to go down into the ocean if we want to get off this planet?
The being points towards your escape pod. That thing isn't getting you off this puddle.
Yeah, but neither is going... The bottom of the ocean can't fly either, right? So...
Nope, but things down there can.
Crashed ships?
Not crashed. They're docked quite well, providing you can get past the large thing down there. Swam down there once myself. I don't breathe oxygen like you mortals do.
Are you a demon?
No.
Are you
Well,
an
if you're an
angel?
immortal,
No.
what scared you off?
Nothing scared me off. I just didn't care. Besides, all the booze is up here. There's nothing down there except a couple spaceships and a giant fish.
Would you perhaps have some moonshine?
Yeah. What kind?
There are different kinds.
Of course, the moon witch wants moonshine.
Quiet you. What kinds?
Look, it's over there in the resort. Just don't take all of it.
I only need a bit.
There's nothing else to do on this stupid planet except drink.
Her
I
little
don't eat
wings
food either.
flutter a little bit in excitement, and she starts walking over there.
So
Oh, be not
how deep,
hungry. There's no food in there. The fabricator's busted. And I
Do
mean
not-
like missing all the pieces busted.
So is it-
We have a fabricator.
Oh, well, good for you then.
so
I
how deep is this escape ship?
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what's that giant metal thing doing over there? It points to A163RT, who has been following you silently the entire time.
That's our fabricator.
It don't look like a replicator. It looks like a swarm of nanites.
That's what they are.
It is a swarm of nanites.
Hmm. Hello, I am A163RT. We have met once before. Oh, it's you.
That can't be good.
So what brings you here, other than the escape pod?
Gravity.
Some of
Yeah,
these smell of
You should be a comedian.
fruit. And she comes back with like 3 bottles.
How fast did you scuttle over there?
You
She
underestimate.
scuttled quite quickly.
You underestimate my power.
60 feet per round fast.
Max run.
Is it downhill both ways? Because I could just glide there.
It's a sand dune. It is both up and downhill.
Gotcha.
Both ways. There's a lot of both. This island looks like the sand has been blown around quite a bit, like a lot. Like maybe the winds on this planet get real bad. What's very odd to you is, though, some parts of this sand, especially near the beach, seem to have revealed some sort of concrete structure. It's as if the sand is literally just sitting on top of concrete.
Talurra's going to kind of split off and walk to the building and just kind of scout out check out the resort.
Now I'll be over here if you need anything else. Just don't drink all the whiskey, damn it.
I'm gonna follow Talurra.
You don't have to worry about us doing that. Look, then pointed look to our dwarven pilot.
Whiskey, you say? I said don't drink it all, dwarf. All right, I'll take the rum. You can keep it. I hate rum.
Where has the rum gone?
It reminds me of... never mind.
So how long would it take to scout the perimeter of this island?
It's only 5 miles around. Not long.
So all day. Maybe a day or two.
You walk up to the tallest
5
sand dune and
miles in
look.
a day?
Most
Jeez, how slow do you walk?
most of the island is
Depends on
in
the
fact
terrain.
sand. There's a very small patch in the middle where some grass has grown and some moss has grown around it.
Oh, so
But
there's
everything
no
else is sand.
foliage.
None.
Okay, so I guess go to the top and get a perspective of the surroundings.
In every single direction, there is nothing but ocean. You do see from this angle, though, that there's some solar panels on top of the roof of the resort as well.
Hmm.
So the building has a lot of power.
I kind of want to go with Talurra and Nox. I want to scope out the building and see if there's any way down, as in the building itself connects to said concrete.
Yeah, that's what was my thought
That's
too. Because
also what Talurra's thought was.
Well,
All
at the top of this, I would like start looking around, kicking the dirt and stuff away, trying to find anything as well.
Just concrete. If you get near the ocean, like near where the ocean's washing up, you can visibly see like a flat line of concrete, as if the entire island is an artificial structure.
I cast detect magic. Do I sense any auras or?
You sense a pretty overwhelming aura from the creature sitting in front of you, but nothing else.
Hmm.
And you think that might actually be the creature itself,
Yeah.
not a spell or effect. You think maybe the creature is just inherently magical.
That makes sense.
This creature that calls itself Locathion.
Well.
Yeah, well, good luck.
What should we expect?
You all kind of walk off.
What should we expect from this Leviathan of the deep?
Violence and lots of chewing.
So it has teeth. What else does
and
it
pincher claw things.
Sure.
Like these. It says grabbing your index finger, but about this long. And it holds its hands out as if referring to it's like several feet in length. So quite large.
A powerful guardian.
Not a guardian, just lost and hungry. It's an animal, doesn't think.
Oh, but all things think.
Yeah, some of them only think of their next meal. What brings you here anyway?
Escape.
Why'd you escape from the ship?
There was a replacer.
That sucks. Those
I can
things are
always grow
nasty.
a new arm if it takes one. Not as much of an issue for me, at least initially. But they are very infamous.
You don't want to get caught by one if it's a harvester. It'll farm you. You're an infinite source of organs. It'll tear your arms off and wait for them to regrow and tear them off again.
It farmed the rest of
Yeah, I figured as much.
it. Was as
That
if it
escape
was a
pod's
wolf
way
among
too
sheep.
big for just 7 people. What'd you say? Sorry.
It was as if it was a wolf among sheep.
Yeah, those are the virus ones. You gotta watch out for them. They wear skin. Just like those folk over there wear shirts.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention that they wear skin. Because they are wearing skin under their clothes.
No, they wear skin over top of their robotic structure. They're very dangerous. They'll look like a person. At least for a while.
I wonder what purpose that could solve.
They infect systems. Virus replacers are notoriously bad for infecting computer systems. They've been known to turn entire starships into a weapon used to slaughter the entire crew. Defensive structures suddenly become weapons. The massacre. I was there when one went off inside a space station. Hardly anything left.
You know what the thing down there likes to eat?
Anything that moves.
So as long as we don't move, we are...
Well, assuming you're going to go down there, you're going to have to probably take a sub. It's the only way you're going to get down there safely.
A sub.
Submarine. a vessel.
Are you sure that I can't swim?
It's too deep.
I can withstand the pressure.
You might be able to, but those life suits you wear won't protect you from the crushing pressure of the deep for long when it tears it open. A submarine's going to give you a little bit of a buffer. I think I know what he's saying. But we might need a submarine to give us something else to jump off of to get to the base if there's one down there. Now you're thinking. Anyway,
it appears
Talurra,
that the
Nox,
other two
Zora,
have awoken.
You are heading towards the resort. Noelle and Meriel, you wake up from a horrific headache. You are under a pile of boxes and other things that appear to have been thrown on top of you, both when the craft landed and whenever some strange propulsion threw you another direction. The two of you wake up and brush off the debris that has fallen on top of you with not a really bad headache, but it doesn't feel like the craft is moving anymore. The escape hatch is open and everyone's gone.
Dang.
Why does this keep happening?
I'm not apologizing.
Probably go find him, huh?
I suppose.
Zora is a being with no regrets.
Eisen, did you join them in the resort?
Yes, I would come down from the small little hill and let them know.
Okay.
Make sure lives aren't cut to pieces, or this might be that last that I have heard about and about it.
Meriel, Noelle, as you climb out of the hatch on top of the pod, you notice that it's been beached on an island composed almost entirely of sand, except for one resort on the island, which looks completely abandoned except for your friends who you see going into it. On the far end of the beach, you see Deborah speaking to some creature that has two really big wings. From this angle, you can't get a clear look at it, but it looks like half of that creature is metal and the other half is lava. At least that's what it looks like from this angle and distance.
Okay.
The whole circumference of this very small, mostly sand island is about 5 miles or 8 kilometers. And that's around, like not across, around. You also notice as you were near the beach, because the escape pod is beached on the shore there, underneath the sand is concrete. This island might be artificial.
Okay.
Okay, so we landed from one pleasure ship to a pleasure planet that appears to be abandoned. And now there is some sort of winged monster talking to our friend who is a bug monster. Am I sure I'm not still doing? Did I take a serious head wound? Is my head okay?
You do kind of
So
feel
did
like
I.
you got hit in the head with boxes. Plastic boxes.
My head hurts. Mm.
What do you do?
Meet up with them, huh?
I guess we go talk to the crazy winged monster with Deborah.
All right, you head towards the strange creature. The strange creature is standing next to a lounge chair. At its feet, kind of stuck into the sand, is a bottle of what looks to be some sort of Terran whiskey, or human whiskey of some sort. No accounting for taste, this looks to be fairly cheap whiskey, at least from what you can tell. And that Meriel, you identified that right away. This is pretty cheap whiskey. But the creature does look rather strange. Half of its body looks like human skin, but it's gold colored. It's literally looks like it's gold. The wing on that half of the creature looks like it's a feathery wing, but all of the wing looks like it's made out of silver. And the other half of the creature looks to be this rather almost like dragon-like scale that look like magma. And the wing on that side looks equally as strange and scaled. with small whiffs of smoke kind of roiling around the wing. Or like drifting off of it as the wind blows by.
Okay.
Deborah, who's your friend?
Friend is
The
a
creature looks your direction.
friend is only word I would say that quite describes this being, but they are perhaps our only companion on this planet.
If you're looking for intelligent conversation, yes. You may call me Locathion.
Locathion. Okay.
As you
Nice to
mortals
meet
are fond of your names.
You may call me Meriel. Nice to meet you.
It holds out its golden hand instead of the clawed-looking magma one. It shakes your hand. It's awkward because it's the opposite hand you held out. It doesn't quite work, and you gotta like switch hands. Yeah.
Yeah. That works.
Are you from the part of the verse close to the core?
I am not from your verse. I am from somewhere else, although this verse has become my prison. So I guess you could say I live here.
You are from the far verse.
I am from the place that is beyond this one. I can shift there if I wanted, but I would only end up here again.
The afterlife.
For some.
Carcercy.
Not that one.
And why don't you go there now? Seems quite boring here for a creature such as yourself.
I would only end up here again.
I will say at the mention of the word afterlife, Noelle's just like, okay, well, it was great meeting you. I'm going to guess everyone else was inside. I'm going in there.
Hey, you do know you have a celestial being following you around, right?
Oh God, you sound just like my
There
parents. I don't
there
want
are
to.
two. They are small,
What?
but they are watching over us. As Deborah points up at the two small moons in orbit.
Oh, okay.
Locathion puts its hand to the bridge of its nose and just sort of shakes its head. No, that's not what I meant. I meant it has a celestial following it around, an angel. There's an angel following it.
How did angels
You
follow the
sound-
moon? I knew it was a holy site.
You sound just like my parents, Locathion.
I might know them.
I don't think they're dead, but maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen them in years.
Nothing ever really truly dies. It just goes somewhere else.
Okay.
Well,
Would any of you like some fish? As I hand you a fish with a giant eyeball. It has just one eyeball.
Here into the strange blue fish with a giant, almost glowing yellow eyeball composing 70% of its body, and a teeny little beak note for a face.
I was gonna say, I
It's
assume
probably
this is a
alive
whole
recently.
ass fish.
Yeah, and it probably was alive
It's a whole ash fish, yeah.
recently. But it's definitely not alive now.
oh,
Thank you, Deborah. I'll go clean this and cook it.
I figured like when your cat brings
why
you an
would you-
animal, and you're like, thank you.
Why would you cook it? You should have it when it's raw and wiggly.
well,
Oh my God.
I'm sure that works for you, but that would make me very sick. Our organs are not the same.
They are not.
No.
Noelle's just like, get
Would
me
you
the
want
fuck
me-
out of here.
I just
I
woke
can
up from a
de-skin-
traumatic head injury.
I will.
And now I have an even more traumatic head injury.
Enjoy the resort. Don't drink all the whiskey.
Did you want the
Yeah.
head?
By the way, the head is also 70% of the body.
Oh, do you want the
Sorry,
head,
did you
Deborah?
want the eye?
Oh,
Uh,
do you want the eye?
It was the most
You
salty
can-
part and the least plastic.
Okay, then you can have the eye. I'll have the rest.
My giant talons just pull it right out of the eye socket.
Okay.
Sorry, Locathian's not laughing. I am. Locathian has a very bored look on its face.
What condition is this eye in? Did I tear it
you
too
just
bad?
plucked it out
Yeah.
of the body.
But did is it still intact?
Yeah,
Okay.
you plucked it out.
I put it in my bag. A snack for later. Everyone else is like, we're stuck on the island with this creepy ass bug.
And this creepy ass edgelord angel thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Noelle's just get me the fuck out of
So
here.
I was like, I can't run from my problems here. There's not much space.
Deborah hands you a bottle of what appears to be some clear liquid, and it says on the side, what does it say on the side? It's some of the moonshine.
It says on the side, Elven Moonshine.
Thank you.
It goes well.
Hagursi's Leaf Blend.
Great. I'm gonna need this.
You take the some 300 proof moonshine, which you would probably only really take a few sips of before you passed out in the sand.
Nice.
You might need to dilute this with something. The elves make their moonshine strong enough to be used as engine fuel.
Which in the Dark
She
Matter
just tucks that away.
could be very true.
Yeah.
She just tucks that away for now.
All right, you can add 300 proof mason jar of moonshine to your inventory.
300 proof mason jar.
All the technology in the universe, and it's still in mason jars.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's elves. Of course it is.
It
It's very
adds to-
aesthetic.
It
Yeah,
adds for the
exactly.
flavor.
They learned how to make it from humans, so that's why it's in a mason jar.
I was gonna
Because
say,
they
it's-
assumed it
it's
needed to be stored that way for proper use.
It's also aesthetic. Let's be honest. Elves are
Right.
aesthetic AF.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So as long as we're here and I'm not sure what everyone else is, if I have a celestial following me, what do they look like?
The celestial that you've occasionally seen that talking to you in your dreams is the exact description he gives.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Ah.
I was just gonna have Noelle be a smartass and be like,
Oh, halo above the head, feathery wings.
Yep.
Great.
That is very odd. I was expecting a glowing sphere in the sky.
Different kind of celestial.
I see that I am not needed in this conversation. I shall go.
Don't want to be in this
make something.
conversation.
Meanwhile, Noelle, I don't also am not needed in this conversation.
And Deborah leaves, and she goes to sit like where there's a bunch of sand in the sand dune, and she looks like she's like making something out of the sand.
Oh God.
Aw.
Locathian goes, "Ugh," and lays down in the lounge chair again, folding its wings behind it and just going back seemingly to sleep. Like I said, don't drink all the whiskey.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we going to take any kind of rest? Asking out of character. Because
You can.
if we are, something's going to happen in the next hour with me playing with sand for now.
Well, we're currently adventuring through the resort.
Everyone else
Oh,
is
yeah, go with
adventuring
the
through the
resort. Yeah.
the resort.
Scotty,
So
is this going to be like when you trapped yourself in a boulder and then we got into a fight and you were not there?
No, I am not making that mistake again. Oh my god. So Blake,
That was amazing.
So Blake, very short version. My druid in Retroverse cast metal with stone, and they meld inside a boulder to go to sleep every night because it lasts 8 hours.
oh god. Mhm.
And like everyone else is going off to go do things, and I'm like, okay, have fun. And I literally slept through everything. So
we
the whole
got
session, I literally did
we
nothing.
And multiple of us had assassins and bounty hunters come after us during that session. Meanwhile, Scotty just sat at home
doing a boulder.
Yeah, they
couldn't
couldn't find me. How could they find me? They're like, oh, there's just a giant
That's
rock
true.
there.
He did wake up at one point and just straight murder someone in the apartment.
Mhm.
and then go back to
and
sleep.
then I went back to sleep. Sorry. Resort.
All right, so you get to the resort and you begin looking around. Let me get my document here. Okay, the first floor of this resort is mostly the lounge area, complete with a fully stocked bar. Closer inspection reveals that most of the bottles have been opened and used. The other half of the first floor is a large dining area, complete with a food fabrication station, of which still does not work at all. There appears to be no dishes, no cups, no silverware, and no other utensils of any kind in the dining area. Just tables and chairs. In fact, there's no kitchen, just a food fabrication station and nothing else.
Is there any interior design that would lead towards a central location that would be assumed to lead downward?
Nope. There are stairs that go up. That's it. There's an elaborate, pretty fancy looking staircase made out of the same weird white material everything else is in this entire resort. The walls, the floor, the ceiling, everything is white. Plain, blank, featureless, white. And it looks like it's all plastic too. Yes, nice and sterile. The whole place looks pretty plastic, both metaphorically and literally. And that's all that's on the first floor.
All right, gets on to the next floor.
Should we split and each do a floor, or?
Best to stay together just in case.
Yeah. Just
All
in
right.
case.
As
Who knows
you-
what's in here?
As the squad, minus Deborah, moves up to the second floor, you notice that the entire second floor is all exact copy rooms with a single bed and a dresser inside. There are a lot of rooms here for the building's size. All of them seem to be fairly uniform in their design. And again, everything's white. The dresser, the bed, the sheets, the bed frame, the mattress, the pillows, white.
I don't know who made this, but they certainly had a certain preference for color.
Yes,
As in none.
Every item
Yeah.
in the entire resort has a small A on it. Small capital A in what seems to be Terran English. Whereas it's become known as common, since humans are everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
much like fleas.
I was thinking a plague.
Same.
That too.
The third floor of the resort, because I'm assuming you go to the third floor having found nothing here. The third floor of the resort, exactly the same thing. A bunch of all exact copy rooms with a single bed and dresser. Again, everything's labeled with a tiny A. The A is orange. Otherwise, everything else is white.
Hey, look, some color.
I do use it.
Very minimalist, that's for sure.
Getting fed up, Zora's going to head all the way up and effectively meet everybody in the middle. If it's going to be just carbon copy, it's best to jump up to the top.
The minute you get to the fourth floor, you notice that everything is a little different. The fourth floor is all of the luxury rooms. This looks to be some sort of luxury cabins here. Every room has a huge bed in it, and by huge I mean like California King plus. And multiple dressers, and each room is again the same. The fifth floor is obviously not a resort at all, and clearly a laboratory of some kind, complete with many large vats of some kind.
Is it a total of 5 floors?
Nope, 6 floors. Go ahead.
Can I tell what this lab was used for? Like what was researched here?
Technology check. Anyone else attempting to figure out what this equipment is for can also roll a tech check.
19.
Okay.
No, don't even need to roll.
Talurra's not
Alright.
gonna roll. She has no clue.
You notice that these large vats, as well as a lot of the laboratory equipment on the fifth floor, is all used for cloning marine animals.
Hmm.
And again, every piece of lab equipment has a tiny orange A in it.
Are there still alive animals there?
Nope.
Like
All the cloning vats are filled with genetic material. Preserved genetic material, which still looks expired.
Okay. So I think they were populating the planet here. Maybe they were like, this was like some kind of preservation project, maybe? I'm trying to find like a computer or something like that where they have like log
this
data.
This floor does not appear to have anything of the sort. There is a staircase going up though.
They have no computers here in the lab?
Not in this lab. This lab all has equipment that looks to be basically directly used for cloning.
Well, then I'll look around for something of the sort.
All right. Eventually, the rest of you head up to the 6th floor. Hang on.
Roll initiative. What?
The 6th floor is also a laboratory of some kind and filled with various scientific research stations. A computer station in the back corner clearly looks far older than the rest of the equipment. From these windows here, you can see Locathlon lounging on the beach where you found it. Him, they, whatever you want to call him.
I'm going to check out the old terminal that is there.
Okay. On the way over there, you pass by a hatch that leads to the roof.
I don't know how much time has passed, but the sand thing that Deborah's making looks like some kind of perfect sphere, and there's a bunch of weird radial runes from it, and it's the center.
Zora would immediately head up to the roof.
All right. The roof is filled with solar panels. Far more solar panels than this resort needs by itself. In fact, the amount of solar power this resort generates currently is approximately 10 times more than the resort would ever need.
So, presumably, and let me know if I need to make a insight check on this, it's powering what was described to us by our friend down below, where all the ships are docked.
You would put 2 and 2 together with your knowledge of technology. There's probably a very large cable that is somewhere on this resort or buried under the ground or something that goes down to whatever is down there.
Would there be a maintenance hatch to said wires?
Well, you don't see one.
I want to search the building for one, because if the wires go down, if there's a chance it's large enough.
A lot of this wiring does go out of the solar panels. You obviously heavily shielded wiring for electrical storms and flooding because it's an ocean planet. It leads down to the floor below you. As you go back down, you notice Nox tooling around with the computer that all the wiring seems to lead to.
God damn.
Or at least Nox is moving over towards the computer. You and Nox kind of arrive at the terminal at the same time.
Okay. Nox, how do you want to do this?
Well, I'm trying to start up the terminal, see if it's still working or anything like that.
Technology check.
Assisted?
Sure. So you can roll at advantage.
Good, because the first one was a 4. Now I have, however, a 24. A 24.
Nice.
All right. As you activate the terminal fires up, and you see 3 commands: log, study, activate elevator.
Well, first I'm going to check out the log.
The logs dates approximately 285 years ago was the last entry. You know that would have been roughly the time humans entered the verse-ish. maybe a bit before. This looks to be some sort of project to study the marine life and possibly repopulate some of the marine life from a planet deemed in the logs as 4546b.
You son of a bitch.
And the logs here date that they stole genetic material from the creatures of the planet and used that material to, as far as cloning goes, safely clone the species here so that, and my glasses have died, so who cares if they're on now, safely study them in a neutral environment. This planet was deemed as sterile as there was no life on it before they brought the marine life here. So they brought the marine life here knowing that they could just use the planet as an experiment.
Is there anything in the logs saying like what happened to the project overall, or did they just deem it, okay, we know everything we want?
The last log entry shows an emergency request needed in the lower lab, the underwater lab, and it asks for all personnel to go to that location. And that's the last entry.
That's very sus.
That's it.
Wait, there was study too, right? I'm going to check in if there's anything in the study, like what exactly they made here, basically resettled here. I assume there's information about the study that they did.
Yes, they studied the use of a deadly strand of bacteria, particularly how the bacteria adapted to both an aquatic and aerosol-based environment. And they had done that on another planet. And this planet, they studied the actual marine life itself. So they cloned all the neutral marine life on the above facility, which is the facility you're in. It was made as a resort so that if scanned from space, it would only show an abandoned resort on the planet, and no one would immediately assume there's any type of illicit cloning activity going on here. You do see that the mega corporation violated several environmental codes as far as disturbing neutral planets and all sorts of other stuff in order to complete this project. But being this is a sterile planet, you don't think anyone would really give a crap about it because there was no life here before they brought it. So it's not like there was anything here before they showed up.
Is there?
Nope, go ahead.
Is there any information on like it says like there's an emergency where everyone was told to go to like a certain place, right?
Yep. The lower lab, it says.
The lower lab. And are there any more specifics on what the emergency is?
Nope. It just says, calling all personnel, please report to the lower lab. That's the last log for this particular computer. It doesn't appear to be connected to anything else.
If Nox is done with the console, I want to hit the elevator button. That's the first thing I was looking for when I came in here.
As you reach over, kind of like to push the
Nox
button.
will hold the hand and will say,
You're like,
they were studying a deadly bacteria here. I'm
no,
not
that
sure.
was another planet. This planet was used for studying the marine life in a neutral environment.
I do have a quick question. Can I use my kinesis to hit the elevator button since she's holding my hand?
This was, wait, so basically, was this then like a control group?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a neutral control study on a sterile planet to study the marine life itself and how it would react to being introduced to a new planet. You believe they actually intended to really use this as an actual resort later if it panned out, but something happened. There's no logs of what happened, but something happened. There is a log dictating that the platform you're standing on is an elevator that goes down to a sub bay.
Like, maybe we should wait a moment until everyone's here and
Noelle, Meriel, and Talurra and Eisen. You notice them tooling around with the controls as you're just staring at random equipment in the labs, texting each other on your devices. And you hear Nox say, maybe we should wait for everyone to be over here before we turn on the elevator.
Like playing a game called With the Group.
Sorry, this place has actually got decent Wi-Fi.
You notice, yes, it does. It has some of the best Wi-Fi you've seen in a while.
Oh my god.
Find your own meta Among Us chat. Sorry.
Yes, and I love it.
How much time has passed?
It's been about an hour.
Okay. I would go in to check on them. Would I be able to find them relatively?
Okay. You find them as you hear Nox say, we have to wait till everyone's here to reactivate the elevator.
Okay. Phone me in. You guys hear this like creature behind me? And then floating in behind me is this thing I'm going to post in Discord first. But then after I post it, I'll describe it.
I just want to say, as soon as you show up and everybody turns your direction,
God.
just immediately hit the elevator button.
It appears to be a little miniature moon, but it's got a very humanoid-like mouth on it and nothing else.
Brother.
It's just floating in the ice.
Brother moons have awoken. Oh God.
Okay, Dead Space.
Why?
Brother.
Scotty, why?
You know what?
What is this?
You know what? I'm changing my vote. I vote that fucking thing.
It
Immediately space it.
It just like hovers over towards you, and it like looks up at you and just like smiles. It has no nose or anything. It's just like human mouth. It's like the size of a cat.
Meriel, today is the worst day. I hate it here.
Someone press the
so-
goddamn button.
So meta-wise, so I can make this
As you all
make
stand on
relative
this platform,
sense. I cast
Zora-
Find Familiar,
Zora
and witches can have
pushes the
homunculi
button.
as their familiar. So this is homunculi
Oh.
stats.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's your homunculi. Nice. You push the button, and a series of kind of like red lights kind of activate around the elevator from behind the walls. And then you see an outline on the floor of where the elevator is. All of you kind of shimmy into that. And the elevator travels relatively quickly down all 6 floors through a hidden passage in the walls that was practically a structure that you thought was part of the building, really. Very well hidden. Not something you would even immediately assume was, you'd be like, it's just part of the wall, because all the walls look like that. And it leads all the way down below the first floor. And as it leads down to this floor, since there's not really any safety mechanisms to this elevator, OSHA would have a field day here. You now arrive in the submarine deck. This vast, open underground area contains a single submarine sitting peacefully just above the water, clearly deactivated and probably in need of some maintenance. There is a massive submersible power cable leaving this building and going down deep into the deep.
Found it.
But what's it?
Well, at least we didn't have to come down here the outside.
Yep.
So, are there any visible hatches to the sub?
This area feels like it's some sort of pressurized area, or is pressurized to a degree more than it normally would be. The water sits right there. Like the sub could literally just dive down and go into the water, presuming that it worked. You may need to do some maintenance on it. And we're talking a full-sized submarine too, not like a tiny one.
Does it look like it could fit all of us?
Easily.
Okay.
It could fit double all of you.
Wow.
And cargo.
Oh,
So this is Red October.
Yeah. It's not quite the same size as a nuclear submarine, but it's real close. It's very big vessel.
Is the pilot still with us? Or is he outside
I
drinking?
mean, we don't need. We have a pilot
that's
already.
Right. That's right. My bad.
We have the
I was
sober
thinking
If you're
pilot.
referring to Captain Cobble, yes, he's still here. He followed you around when you walked in the resort. He did not drink any alcohol yet, but he is carrying a bottle of dwarven moonshine with him.
Of course.
As you do.
Mimas.
He hasn't opened it yet, though.
Mimas, my creation. Check to make sure there's nothing aggressive on this underwater view. It's quite sentient and it has 10 in all of its mental stats. It can understand, but it can't speak, so it probably just like smiles and nods and zooms off. And it goes to explore.
Do you think someone might need to open the hatch to the submarine?
Oh, it goes dunk, 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 and I just go over and
it literally runs
open.
into the hatch until somebody opens.
I go
You
over
go
and
up to the top of the submarine and you kind of release the release hatch,
Mhm.
and it opens up, and your homunculi searches and comes back and shakes.
It has passive
wanna
10,
ask-
by the way, so it would probably just use that.
I do want to ask one very specific question.
Mm-hmm.
We were told there were spaceships down here.
Mm-hmm.
This is strictly submarine.
You can clearly see this is just a submarine.
Okay.
You think maybe Locathion's referring to even
Must go
deeper.
Deeper. Right. I just wanted to make sure of that specification.
This submarine has a very large, like half dome of glass on the front of it, where the pilot would sit to steer the submarine. And it looks to be a lot of other consoles behind where the pilot is. You can see right into the front of the submarine. There's a lot of camera controls, it looks like. There's exterior cameras looking forward and backward that look like they can rotate around on the top, the bottom, and the rear of the submarine. The submarine itself is all white with a single green stripe. And the outside has painted on the side of it Submaria.
I do want to check to see if there's any weapons.
None.
Shit.
It does have a small A that's orange.
Hey. Sorry.
Just like everything else you've ever seen in this entire building. It's got a tiny A on it.
Rechristen it, yep.
You could.
Who's gonna stop us?
Nobody.
This A guy?
No, but I have a
This
feeling that
a-hole?
if we all start fighting over what we're naming the sub and what's displayed out on the side,
Bodie
that we're not going to
McBoatface.
get anywhere.
What do you
I
mean?
thought renaming a ship was bad luck.
Thought going on someone's ship who they named is bad luck as well. Someone else's ship who they named is also bad luck too.
What's worse luck? Going on a already named ship that
Also,
isn't ours, or going outside in the water down
Even-
to where we need to go without the
even
sub?
more considered bad luck in that thing. Having a female on board.
Looks over at
Most of our
Nox?
crew-
how many
Okay,
characters
that's
are male?
most of us.
How many characters are male in the party? One?
I think 3 are males or 2. 2 males.
Two of the 7 people here.
Good luck! Everyone else goes.
Yeah. Captain Cobble just shakes his head.
It's fine. We'll
None
just-
of
we'll
those
just
are
stop.
true. They're all old myths, and they're mostly human ones, so they're not any good.
So we follow a cable down there, dodge the big
Assuming we can
sea
dodge the
creature down
Leviathan.
there.
Aye.
Yeah, and find the ships, right? And then we just escape. It's easy, right?
I say we
Right.
use this submarine as a distraction. We just ram the thing straight into the Leviathan, jump out, and make a swim for it. If
Wouldn't
the thing's
being
chewing
that-
on the submarine, we get past it. Our life suits will protect us from the crushing pressure, and we get inside the lower laboratory of some kind.
How about
then
I
from
want to
there
do
we
the
find out
math
what
on
there
that.
is.
I want to do the math on that.
How about we try not to immediately shove the boat into its throat and get as far down as we can? If it attacks, then we
Aye.
can go with plan B.
All right. That sounds bad.
I
You
want to
probably
math
don't want
out
me to pilot then.
how long we and our suits can withstand the pressure down there.
Providing the life suits aren't ripped, meaning you take no damage, that they'll get you protected just fine. However, the deep sea armor that you found that is back in your life pod, your crashed escape pod there, or beached escape pod, I should say. Those will provide you with quite a large amount of protection, as well as if you happen to take damage, you're not going to immediately die from pressure damage or start getting crushed.
What about my suit?
Your suit's fine.
So you're
you know
fine.
How to use it
Space
now. It's
Marines.
activated. Your suit is not only armor, it is also a life suit. You're fine.
You have
You
a
don't
super
die.
suit.
You'll
It's
die.
okay.
You'll
Eisen
die
just-
before your armor does. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I could just
That's
like
how
jump
well
in and go wee to the
Yeah.
bottom.
You
Eisen
essentially
just
could.
jumps down there. See you later.
Wee.
You essentially could, yeah.
Give him flares, we'll follow him in the sub.
yeah.
So
He just
bait-
disappears as a giant shadowy figures.
Hey, at least he's chomping on Eisen and not the sub the rest of us are in.
So we
Sorry,
have-
Eisen, the bus is number 8.
And then Eisen's just in his stomach for a while. It's like, this is my life, I guess.
Well, the suit would technically protect me from the acid.
It would.
Just
No, wait.
Eisen's inside
Wait,
the
wait.
stomach. Just, now I'm where you want, you bitch.
Hypothetically.
Reload shotgun.
Could I go inside this thing and fight it from the inside?
Providing it didn't kill you by chewing you and you could get it to swallow you whole, yeah, you could probably fight it from the inside.
Or you could get in a
I,
giant
I like
construction.
these odds.
Or you can get into a giant
No math.
construction mech and just be like, get away from her, you bitch.
But
Matt,
yeah,
I know
definitely-
you.
I was more thinking Guardians of the Galaxy reference.
Ah,
Yeah.
We
That's
have to
what-
kill it from the inside. Jumps
Or-
into its mouth.
We could go old school Men in Black.
Ah, stab it.
Just from inside and start shooting it. Yeah.
We should definitely get those deep sea suits. Last thing we want is to die.
Splash.
If you guys wanted to go head up to the surface, that's fine. I think Zora would immediately start going and doing a diagnostics on the ship to try and make sure nothing else is going to be screwed up when we start the trip.
All right. You begin working on the sub.
I will help. I will also do that because
You
I
may
know-
make a technology check, Zora, with advantage.
Deborah
Because you have
finds-
assistance from Nox.
Deborah finds
Actually-
a relatively tight spot in the compartment, and she just sits in there, and the homunculus floats around and tries to help you guys.
Despite it being my idea originally, would I be able to figure out which one of us has the higher tech and let that one roll with advantage? Or do you want me to do it?
I think Noelle has the highest tech check, technically.
I
plus
meant
six.
between me and Nox.
Knox would, because Knox, I think you're right. You're like right there with me on tech.
I have a
aren't you?
I have a +6 to that.
Okay.
So
All right. Then those of you assisting with the submarine will assist Nox with the submarine's repairs. So go ahead and roll at advantage.
So these
Sorry.
power cables are continuing to go deeper into the water.
Yeah,
Ready,
you
20.
can see when you just kind of look underwater with the lights on your helmet, you can see they go real deep. And it's a huge power cable. It's like 3 or 4, maybe 5 feet across.
So I could, if I wanted to, I could just like grab onto the wire and slide down it.
Essentially, you could grab onto it and just kind of slide down if you really wanted to. Your armor is heavy enough, you no longer float. You can swim if you want to, but you sink faster than you swim, usually.
Dirty 20, by the way.
30-20? Okay. You deftly repair the submarine and restore power with the assistance of your friend's technology checks. At about the same time that Eisen is considering jumping into the water by himself.
Mimas assists by using their mouth to grab tools for you and giving them to you when you ask.
Thanks.
It seems to understand you, but it doesn't talk back.
thankfully, Zora doesn't have to worry about that because they use kinesis for everything.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell away from me.
Yeah, Nox is also grabbing everything with her mage hand from the Mimas. It's just
Oh yeah, it just lets go of it when it feels the pull.
Thanks.
It smiles.
Everyone's just horribly creeped out by the weirdly talking, floating moon that's sitting around.
It's like a Modron, but
wonder
no
why.
eyes or limbs.
Right,
God.
right.
Like a Modron, but horrifying.
Even
Yeah,
more
no,
horrifying
it's-
than a Modron.
Yeah,
It's like a
Modrons are
weird
kind of
claymation
cute.
creature. Yeah, it's like
Modrons
a
are
weird
kind of-
claymation creature.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It animates like a claymation
It's like Tim
creature.
Burton made a claymation monster for D&D, and that's what it looks like.
Oh God.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. The submarine appears to be working. At about the time you're considering jumping into the deep, Eisen, you hear the sub power up.
Oh,
I just have the feeling it's not going to sway him.
The group of you easily see from the submarine's cockpit Eisen looking into the deep with a "considering I'm going to jump" look on his eyes.
has everyone else already boarded the sub?
Yeah, pretty much everyone except Deborah. Well, no, Deborah's in the sub already.
Yeah, I'm in a tight corner somewhere.
Yeah, because Talurra went back to grab all the life suits.
She
but-
doesn't like this. She doesn't like being in places like this, so she's just trying to find the most secure place possible, and she's just using all of her talents to just.
Yeah.
Talurra, you guys grabbed quite a bit of armor. Who all can use the armor that Talurra brings back?
What is it based off of again?
It is, I think I said the equivalence of it at one point.
Flight suits.
Yes.
Which are what kind of armor? Let me check.
Sounds like leather armor, maybe. I'll definitely
Zora's
double check.
good. She can use all types of armor.
Yes, it's light armor, so everyone can use them.
Okay.
Well, there you
I literally don't think there's
Not everyone.
There's no classes I think that cannot use light armor.
Wizards and sorcerers.
I think they still get light armor proficiency.
Nope.
Now,
I could've
Wizards
sworn
and
they
sorcerers
used-
are
Do monks? I don't
complete
think monks
nude.
do either.
Monks don't get either.
Yeah.
But they can still wear armor.
Right.
They,
It
they
They
just
can
just
wear it,
couldn't.
but they don't get their like.
Oh, that's right,
physical
yeah.
They don't
abilities
get a
anymore.
monk bonus.
They don't get the proficiency. That's right. I forgot that sorcerers don't get proficiency on that.
There's-
Let me double
Yeah,
check.
neither do wizards.
Like they don't want to cast spells and that, and if you're not proficient. But
If
if
you
you
get,
do,
you
it's
get
fine.
a
Yeah.
deficiency. If
But
you
I know
don't,
that me, you, so
Oh, I
Talurra and
can.
Nox both have it. I was saying I know Meriel and Noelle also should have.
The only person who actually can't wear this armor is Deborah. And because it's literally made for a humanoid creature and
Yeah.
not for her species.
Oh, cool.
So it's not that she can't use the armor, it's that it literally will not work for her.
I
How many
can't
sets do we have?
And
If-
You have enough for everyone to wear one. I think
I
you
can-
said there was
I-
a ton in there.
I can tell you
15.
that
There's
this
15.
they would not make suits for the Skathári. Skathári, because
Skathári.
of their adaptive bodies, so they can withstand the water pressure and stuff.
Right.
That's why
Because they're not
that's why
affected
they're
by
used on
pressure
like
or lack thereof.
yeah, that's why they're usually used for like meteor mining operations and stuff.
Right.
Is this basically like a exploration sub, or does it have like any offensive capabilities?
It's just an exploration sub. Transport exploration sub, because there's a large cargo bay, of which you see Deborah cowering in a back corner by a vent.
She's
Kind of
full-
bracing all of her limbs into the corner.
Oh, thank you for the bits, Ramrod.
Hey.
Remember, I checked for any type of weaponry on the sub earlier.
All right. Well, is there like a wet room for able to exit the sub while
Yeah,
submerged?
it's a port that opens up underneath the sub, kind of like this. And you can jump through a hatch underneath. And there's a hatch that enters the sub above. Right now, the upper hatch is the one you would go into. So you would go into the upper hatch.
Okay. I'll go ahead and board the sub then.
All right. Everyone aboard the submarine. It is now working.
Boop,
The
boop.
submaria is ready to take off.
Submaria, here we go again.
God the,
I hate that.
I'll shut up.
You board the submarine. Who's going to pilot?
Points to Noelle.
Everybody looks at the passed out drunk dwarf. What?
He's not drunk yet.
Not yet. Soon.
No, it's
I thought he
because
was
no, it's
constantly
because he's
drunk,
sober.
still conscious.
Yeah.
Oh no,
He's
Captain,
sober at this
you're
point.
almost sober.
You're blind, stinking sober.
Blind, stinking sober.
So how deep are we right now?
Currently, you are just below the imagine the resort's at the ground floor of the island. You're below that, so technically you're already under the water line, but there's a pressure field of some kind in here preventing the water from filling the room.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, how deep under the water are we?
You're probably only about maybe 10 feet, 20 feet deep. 20, yeah.
It's a wading pool. Okay.
Yeah. And this submarine's got a large, this submarine can literally just go down and go out. There's no delay, as it were.
I have to be right back. I'm sorry.
All right. All right, Noelle, give me a pilot check. There are stations in the submarine's front for people to man cameras. Who's going to man cameras? There are 2 stations. AKA, who has a good perception check?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who has the best perception?
I don't have that great perception. I mean, it's decent. I have +4, but that's it.
I have +3.
Just let me know when we're there.
I have +4, or I have +2 for perception.
All right, Meriel, Knox, you're manning the cameras.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not proficient with perception, so.
I'm proficient.
I mean,
but
neither. I
have
just
+1.
have a 18 wisdom.
I have a 10 wisdom, so.
Are these just like cameras, or does a ship have sonar?
It looks as though the captain has access to a sonar, but it's quite loud.
Let's not use that.
1 ping only.
We are paid 1 ping only, please.
1 ping only. I got
Says
a
the
16.
Scottish accented Russian captain.
I got a 16 for my piloting.
All right, you know how to pilot this submarine quite well, and you very easily pull it out of the dock and into the deep. Right now, all the beautiful, glowing, phosphorescent, bioluminescent creatures are glowing all sorts of different colors that look rather beautiful. All sorts of yellows and pinks and blues glow from not only the fish, some greens as well, but some of the plants as well. Many of the plants, in fact, nearly all of them, in fact, have a beautiful bioluminescent glow. It's a very beautiful sight, quite relaxing and peaceful through the massive semicircular front port window on the submarine. And Noelle, you feel kind of out there because you're right on the nose of the submarine when you're piloting this thing. As you're looking around, you're relying on Meriel and Knox to give you your bearings on how close you are to certain objects as you go down. Eisen points out where the cable is as he's kind of standing up there with you, because he saw where the cable went when he kind of peeked his head down there. And you kind of get a good feel for where the cable is. And based on Meriel and Knox's perception checks, which they're going to give me now, you guide the submarine downward into the deep.
I would like to ask another question when I get the chance.
Sure, go ahead.
I know I was specifically asking for weapons before.
Mm-hmm.
It occurs to me, if it doesn't show it has any weapons, do I find any type of defensive measures?
There is a tube in the back of the submarine that ejects a decoy.
Are we loaded with a decoy?
There is a single decoy.
When we got on board, did the ship go, "Welcome aboard, Captain"?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It said only once, "Welcome aboard, Captain." And that was it. Now that has power.
Are we there
right.
yet?
And you begin piloting downward. Meriel, Knox, what were your perception checks?
Are we
I
crashing?
got 15.
15? Okay.
14.
14.
Talurra, by the way, is probably sitting in the room where we're going to eject from, just eyes closed, just waiting, ignoring everything else.
As you go downward, Meriel, you are the first to notice with the camera that now that you're getting into darker, blackened parts of the ocean, that there is definitely a glow in the distance, an orange glow. You're pretty sure it's an artificial light of some kind. Then Nox reports, I have movement.
There's something here. I try to
Doesn't
like.
look like the doesn't look like the bioluminescence we have been seeing.
No, it does not.
Does the movement look big?
It does look rather Leviathan-esque.
Is it a blip or is it a bloop?
More of a blue.
Oh boy. All right.
It's farted in the water, guys.
And there is a sound effect which is copyrighted that Scotty can't play, that I'm going to send all of you a link of, because this is what you hear shortly after Nox says, I see some movement.
No,
I already
that's
know
not
what
I
it
think
is.
I really wish I could click it.
Yeah, I like how when you paste into the Zoom chat, it just waits.
Is there
I
an
hate you
initiative
so
being
much.
rolled?
Sure.
Everyone's turn. We sit here and wait to die.
That's what you hear, as it very clearly has seen you and is moving your direction at a very fast pace.
10.
Guys, it's coming towards us.
Very quickly.
And initiative. All of
Okay.
you hear that sound in the submarine. Deborah, it has made this very dark, deep place even scarier.
Oh, I don't care
Talurra,
about the deep dark
you-
place. I don't like
You're
being
very
in this
thankful
technological.
that these suits
coffin.
are moisture absorbing.
Talurra's not scared that much. He's just God fucking damn it.
I'm just very uncomfortable being in a vehicle. You know, not liking technology and all that.
All right, initiative.
10.
19.
12.
11. 10.
Oh,
22.
roll off.
With whom?
Nope.
14.
That one.
Okay. Nox, that was you that got the other 22.
Mm-hmm.
What was your initiative, Talurra?
22.
Yours was 22 as well?
Mine was 22 and Nox's was 22. I don't know if
Mhm.
anyone else rolled 22 as well.
Yes, there was.
Oh, no.
I think it was,
What was your roll off?
No, I think it was Nox and I who were the only ones who rolled 22, wasn't it?
No,
No, the creature
There's another
also.
22.
Oh, okay.
Roll
I
off.
rolled.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's
you
why
want
I'm like, oh no.
Use the same results or the last results?
No, use the same result. What
Okay,
did
so
you
I got
get?
a 16 for mine,
Okay, all right.
and Nox got a 1.
Yeah, okay.
All hands abandoned ship.
Let's hope this isn't a despair squid.
Abandoned ship.
That might be what's happening. Meriel, what was your initiative?
I got 17.
17, all right.
Nice.
And Zora, what was your initiative?
19.
And Eisen?
12, I believe.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. I'm like, hello?
He pulled a Cali. He does that sometimes.
Did we lose him? Noelle?
21.
Ah,
God, I feel like we need to do the paperclip method where you just have your DM screen and you have our names in the paper clips.
right?
Yeah.
Deborah, what was yours?
10.
Oh boy.
Deborah's not into this.
I was gonna say
It's just
my
cowering as best as possible.
I'm gonna be real. I clicked on that link and I really regret clicking on that link.
What is it? What is it called? What is the video called?
Hold on, I'll click on it again and scare myself again.
Subnautica Reaper Leviathan sound.
Okay, that's what I thought it
There you go.
was. That's what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah. It's the somebody's actually isolated the roar of the creature into a sound file, and I found this was the best sound file of the isolated roar. So I said, we'll use this one.
I'm so glad I've never played that game.
Yeah. There's actually another creature I almost put in here. The minute you mentioned last week that you were very much not into squids.
Yeah.
I almost put the crab squid from Subnautica into here, which probably would have not been the best, as the noise for that creature is very freaking weird.
Well, hey, who wants to watch Noelle and Altaziel have a mental breakdown on camera?
yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna avoid that. I thought about it. It was right on the tip of my mind, like that would be fun, but no. Also,
I just imagine everyone else. Oh, what a cutie! Noelle over there.
I don't know.
The
crab squids are pretty terrifying.
Yeah, they're actually pretty terrifying looking. Okay, so those of you playing that sound file, you can go ahead and refresh it, because going first on the initiative roll is the creature.
Oh no.
I use a legendary action to negate whatever it's doing.
You think that would have worked if you had any legendary actions.
Yep.
But you don't.
You unfortunately used them all.
Okay.
Creating that goddamn ball of whatever you made.
Yeah, the ball has legendary action.
The Reaper Leviathan makes an attack roll first. The submarine.
Oh, the ball is with one of the people in camp. Who's using cameras again? I'm sorry.
Nox and Meriel.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for it. Odds, Nox, evens, Meriel.
Oh no.
Okay, Meriel, the little ball's with you.
You're the lucky victor.
Oh.
You said victim weird, Vex.
The lucky victor.
Must be the accent.
So the Reaper Leviathan hits the
accent,
submarine. Noelle, you get a very scary sight as from the very front of the submarine, you see the creature grab onto the submarine with 4 of its claws, and its teeth are literally gnawing onto the glass as it begins shaking the submarine back and forth and attempting to rip the whole front of it off. You hear the submarine go, and you can visibly see parts of the submarine where the creature's claws are caving in. You're not sure the sub's going to take much more. That was the creature's round. It attempts to throw the submarine into a nearby wall, which you were attempting to navigate against, but it does not do so yet. It hasn't quite gotten it there. It's kind of throwing it that way, wiggling it towards the wall. You think it's going to try and smash the submarine into the wall. But at this point, it hasn't gotten there yet. So that was its turn. Next on the initiative roll, we have the other 22s. Talurra.
That's me.
You hear the creak of plat steel as the submarine you're in looks as though it's going to not last another round. Specifically, the part that Noelle is standing in is about to get torn completely off of the submarine.
I think it's time to abandon ship. And Talurra will first. I'm assuming that Zora would have pointed out the decoy, right?
Yeah. I'm assuming you did that, right, Zora?
Yes, my apologies.
Okay, yeah.
Then Talurra would probably run up, try to detonate that to set it off.
Okay. You run up and you push the massive button that says release decoy.
Yeah, perfect.
You basically run up and just slam the button, and as the button is slammed, you hear a boom, and a very loud kind of bright thing is shot off the back of the submarine. Meriel and Nox, in the camera, you see a flickering series of weird lights from something that just got launched from the rear of the submarine.
Do I need a dex check to dodge Vex?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And then she's
like, not yet.
Let's get the hell out of here, guys, and run back up. And I'm assuming I probably couldn't open it because I did my action to detonate the thing, but
yeah, you get to one of the hatches. There's 2 hatches, the upper hatch and the lower hatch. The lower hatch literally just like goes and drops you into the water. The upper hatch, you have to get into the airlock. So you have to close an airlock And then,
if that's it, then I'm going to the lower hatch. Screw that. We're all ejecting, so it doesn't fucking
the
matter.
lower hatch literally just ejects you into the water.
Yeah.
Like you stand on it, and it's just like.
No, she's gonna go with that one.
And it's pretty quick. You don't even have to really activate it. You just stand on it, and you're just instantly in the water. You don't even know how it works.
One. That's the easiest way to go. Just fucking let it crack you out.
Yeah. Yep. You go over to the lower escape hatch, and you're instantly in the water. The pressure chute you're in activates, and you begin descending because you are heavier than your ascent rate anyway in this armor. You begin naturally descending from just sinking at this point towards the large lab that's beneath you. Nox. You heard the decoy get launched, and you saw some rather flickery lights and something get launched off the back of the
Did the
craft.
creature react to that at all?
You think that it would if it was the creature's turn. However, in the minute that it has grabbed the sub and started shaking it is when you're doing this.
Okay. So I assume this thing is powered somehow, right?
The submarine? Yeah.
That could be overloaded, right?
Yeah, 6 power cells,
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
I see we have the same idea, Nox.
The Terminator strategy.
What would it take to overload the submarine so that it explodes?
You have to release the safety valve.
That'd be mechanic. Was there a mechanic?
That'd be a technology check.
Or is that?
Yeah,
Nox is just hopping off the cameras and going there, and it's like, okay, everyone leave the ship. I'm the last one out. I'm blowing this.
Okay.
And that's it.
All
And
right.
in case everyone makes it out in time for, I'm basically holding my action to do that.
Okay. All right. You move back and hold action to blow the sub after everyone's out, or set the explosion timer, as it were.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That was your turn, Nox. Then we move to Noelle.
Detonating in 1 second.
Second. Yeah. Well, if Nox is gonna take care of the actual explosive part, is there a way I can jam the steering so it's dead set on where it's going? Not that it's gonna drift on us at all.
Yeah. There's a autopilot function. You just push autopilot, and it'll continue to move in whatever direction you push it.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm just gonna hit autopilot.
Little inflatable pilot.
Boop, and then start boogieing.
Hit autopilot and full power, set it to full speed, so it goes into the creature's mouth because it's currently eating us.
That's the idea.
All right. Then when you set it to full, it goes, engines set to full. And then you push ahead and hit autopilot, and you back off away from where you see the hull crumpling around where you're literally standing.
Yeah, so Noelle does that and then runs towards the lower hatch and just kind of pats Nox on the back as she goes, "Good luck."
Engine overheat.
Yep. You begin hearing that as Nox is tooling with the engine there to get it to start its process, but not quite obviously go there yet. And that was your turn. And you have enough movement after that, Noelle, by the way, to get out the lower hatch as well. You can make it all the way down and get out the lower hatch.
Do people have on the high pressure or whatever, deep pressure?
Yeah, everyone does except you, because you're not affected by pressure.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, you guys grabbed 15 of those deep sea suits.
She won't jump out the hatch yet. She'll wait by the hatch just to make sure if anybody needs help or with anything, she can jump in.
Okay. That was Noelle's turn. Next, we move to Zora.
Before I do anything, I do need to ask one very specific question.
Mm-hmm.
Would anything I could throw at it be able to create any type of electrical shielding around the sub, even if I have to throw a chromatic orb into the engine?
You don't think so. Okay. Nothing you currently have.
Well, since the decoy has already been launched, I'm going to use my bonus action to turn on my element of air, which gives me an additional 10-foot speed, and GTFO.
All right. You easily get to and out of the lower hatch. And once again, You step on the lower hatch, and you're not even sure how it works. You're just instantly in the water, and the natural weight of your suit, you begin to descend.
Perfect.
Towards the base that's literally below you. And now we get to Meriel.
Okay, so there's a base right below us?
Yeah, you got right above the base, the orange glow that you were looking at. And then this creature kind of hit the sub right when you were getting towards the base.
Mimas has a worried look on their mouth.
I hesitantly reassure it with a pat on its somewhere on its head.
It feels
It
like
feels
sand.
like clay.
Oh, clay.
Like
Yeah,
sandy clay. Like a sandy clay.
That wasn't as unpleasant as I thought it was going to be. Maybe this is an obvious question, but just straight to the base would be the safest path out of the submarine?
Yep. The lower hatch would pretty much bypass most of what the creature is going to see you doing, because it's currently like here, and the lower hatch is like here, like back a ways from where it's at and down. So when you fall off the lower hatch, its eyes can't perceive you. And it's also distracted by this big flashy thing you launched out the back of the submarine.
Got it. I just wanted to make sure, just in case we're not just getting ejected and just out in the open.
No, you're literally right above the base. So below where you're at, sub is up here, base is down here. You're literally just falling straight onto the top of where the base is.
All right. Out and under it is.
All right. You get to the hatch, and once again, you're completely unsure how it works. Just you're instantly in the water, and the natural weight of the suit has you descend. All right, and that was Meriel's turn. Eisen.
All right, so the ship is set to flank speed right now, right?
Yes.
Are there like any terrain around?
You are currently being drugged by the Reaper Leviathan into a wall. You haven't hit the wall yet, but it looks like you might soon. Also, you're not really sure if it's going to be distracted by what's happening in the back of the ship with the decoy, but you're pretty sure that there's going to be an explosion pretty soon.
All right, I was going to say, does the sub have any push on the creature at all with the engines and max?
It's kind of like a back and forth as the sub's pushing the creature. The creature's now kind of shoving forward. It's kind of an equal push-pull at this point. No one's really going anywhere yet.
What about if we turn the ship into the rock and push it in first?
Kind of try to steer it into the wall?
Yeah, shove it down its throat and then big bada boom.
Pin it to the wall so it explodes, pinned to a wall. It could probably do that, yeah.
Do the whole Jaws chew on this, you son of a bitch.
Okay, yeah, you have enough movement that you could probably move up there and kind of give it a autopilot direction towards the wall.
I'll do that then, and then outski.
All right. And you have enough movement after that to get down to the lower hatch, and then once again, you're not really sure. You're just in the water. And your suit sinks just a bit faster than everyone else's because yours has more tech.
Whee!
It has blood in the boots.
And last but not least, we have our buggy friend, Deborah.
2 questions. First, is this Reaper creature within visual of either the Mimas or Deborah? And the second question is the Reaper within 60 feet of Deborah?
It is within visual range of Mimas's ability to detect it. Because Mimas was up in the pilot's section.
Yeah, even though he doesn't technically have a visible eye, he does have dark vision 60 feet. Well, it has dark vision.
And you are closer to the lower hatch than you are to Mimas.
Yeah. So since Mimas can see, I have the telepathic bond where I can see what it sees, sense what it senses. Both from the familiar spell and because it's my homunculi. And as it stares at this creature, am I within 60 feet of it? Is Deborah within 60 feet?
Mimas is. You're not.
Would you allow it for my telepathy ability?
Sure.
I see.
It gets in its mind via telepathy, so it doesn't need a language. Just as long as it has some form of sentience, it can understand.
Wait, let me check its stats.
It probably doesn't, but this won't matter. Speaking to its mind, you believe that you are the king of this world, but little do you know that you are a very small thing, a much bigger verse. And I need a charisma save.
Oh, it's real good at those. Looks at negative.
The DC's 12, so it has a chance.
Rolled an 11. 10.
Oh my god, you serious?
Yeah.
It failed. Okay, roll me D100. And I'll explain what's happening. So, moon witches...
2.
Wow. Moon witches have this ability that they get at 3rd level called lunacy. They gain the ability to drive people mad. As an action, they can choose one creature they can see within 60 feet. They must make a charisma save. On a fail, the creature suffers from 1 long-term madness effect until the end of my next turn. 2, I have the chart for long-term madness up. The Leviathan feels compelled to repeat a specific activity over and over, such as washing hands, touching things, praying, counting coins.
Fighting the hull of a ship.
Fighting the hull of a ship.
Okay. It chooses to be crazy and continue biting the hull of the ship.
Okay. And
it seems to have stopped trying to slam the ship into the wall.
Okay, so the ship...
Which might be bad for it, since the ship is currently steered pointing towards the wall.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the ship's moving towards the wall.
Right. Because now the creature's not trying to throw the ship, it's just chewing on it. So it's being pushed into the wall now because of what you did. You still have movement.
Deborah goes out through the bottom hatch, but stays attached to the bottom of the sub.
What does your familiar do?
It flies... Anyone else still in the ship?
Yes, Nox and Noelle.
It flies over
Nox
the docks.
Is ready to blow the engine, and Noelle's like last man out.
And it has a grin
waiting
on its face.
No, Nox is last out. Noelle was just making sure that everybody else got out before Nox.
It floats next to your shoulder, Nox. Mimas does. And it looks very satisfied, like it did something good.
The weird claymation moon floats next to you with a big toothy grin. Its giant, almost cartoon-like features of its flattened, weird teeth look comical, to say the least. Given the circumstances, it's a welcome reprieve of relief, despite the fact that it is mildly creepy.
I'm so happy this is... Anyway. So I'm on the bottom of the ship.
Familiar for your character.
I'm on the bottom of the ship, and I know I can't ready an action because that was definitely my action to do that.
Right.
But I'm probably going to jump off of the sub.
You can move over to the escape pod and get out.
Yeah, I'm probably going to jump off of the bottom of the sub when on the next turn.
Okay. If you move over to the hatch, you immediately end up on the other side.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how it works.
I'm outside, but I'm like upside down on the bottom.
Right. You're ready to like push yourself down.
Once everyone else is out, pretty much.
Kind of like jump down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then initiative rolls around again.
Oh, and I cackle. I forgot. I cackle as my bonus action. Witches have a thing called cackle, and whenever a witch uses one of their witch abilities, as long as they're cackling, they use their bonus action to cackle, it lasts for another round. So this madness is going to keep going as long as I laugh.
All right. Nox and Noelle, you hear Deborah unleash a rather disturbing cackle as some sort of effect goes off, and the creature stops shaking the ship and just begins chewing on it like it's a giant chew toy.
I'm trying to think.
All right, time to go.
Would we laugh, or would it just sound like cicadas?
It would sound like a weird cicada noise.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
It sounds like a bug chirp noise. But repetitively as if laughter. All right, the Reaper chooses to chew. It does so. The ship looks almost busted as water begins leaking into the front. Hull breach.
Anyone else hear music?
Talurra, you continue to sink. All right. Nox.
Why did Noelle not leave?
Just in case someone else needed help.
God damn it.
Noelle goes right after you, though.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Right.
Well, let's overload the engine.
All right. You pop all the safety locks off, and you hear engine overload. Fire detected. As you begin to see the engine turn red hot rather quickly, and fire begins to spread on the interior of the ship as the metal slightly warps ever so slightly, and the very, very now currently unstable batteries reach a critical point where within the next minute, they're probably going to pop. And there's like 6 of these rather large batteries. And for perspective, each battery is about this big.
Yeah, I'm also lower hatch and ejecting. We're not staying here.
Okay, you get to the lower hatch and your suit begins to sink. You can also swim a little bit because you still got a little movement because you were down by the engine anyway. Noelle, everyone's out. It's your turn. Bloop. All right,
But
and you
Mimas
begin to
is
swim
still in
down with
there.
more of your movement. Mimas doesn't go till your turn.
I know. I'm like, oh no, Noelle, you gotta save Mimas. Everybody loves Mimas. It's the team mascot.
According to
you're fine.
Deborah, maybe.
You're fine.
And Zora,
The
it's
team
your
mascot is Noelle's the angelic guardian.
Yeah.
Oh.
turn. Zora, you continue to sink.
Continue to swim with the element of air. Yes.
Got it. All right, you move quickly towards the base. And Zora, I did yours already. Why did I say that twice? Meriel, sorry.
At this point, how far is the base from me?
You can get there this turn.
Okay, is
to
it
the
like
top of it anyway. The entrance is somewhere else. But you do see a rather large hole in the side of it somewhere. You might be able to get in through there. It's probably a Reaper Leviathan-sized hole.
Oh,
cool.
good.
Something chewed through the side of the base. Maybe it was the Reaper.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Just to expedite the process, and because I want to use a cool thing, I would
All
like
right.
to get. I just want to see how this works. Can I telestep closer to the base?
Ooh. What does Telestep do?
At 3rd level, you can teleport to any unoccupied space within 10 feet of you that you can see. You can use it a number of times equal to my proficiency modifier.
Yeah, you could telestep right to the top and then move over towards the. Yeah, you could easily do that. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Because I want to get away from that imminent explosion as soon as possible.
All
So
right,
just that.
you bamf closer to the ship.
If you teleport underwater, would it be like a tiny little air pocket explosion?
Yeah, it creates a little air pocket. It's like, and you appear somewhere else, and it's like,
Broop.
yeah.
You speak
Eisen.
Aquan?
Frequently.
I was raised on the sea, after all.
Yes.
Am I pretty close to the entrance of that hole?
You are sinking rather rapidly because your armor weighs way more than everyone else's. So yes, you're pretty close to that hull breach in the base.
All right. Well, if need be, I'll just fire off my rocket hammer and guide myself in.
All right, you do that. You're right near the door that goes into the base, just like you and Meriel are basically.
Oh, there went my internet.
Will I be able to do it on this turn?
No, you're basically like rocket yourself down and get right over to them. So you're like
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
All right, and then after you, Eisen, is Deborah. Why do I feel like I skipped someone? I didn't, did I?
Did everyone go in the second round?
No, everyone's gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone's
All
gone.
right.
Just we're
For
doing
some
a lot
weird
less
reason, I
this
thought I
round.
skipped someone. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. All right.
That's
Everyone's just moving. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Deborah
Deborah, it's your turn.
continues to cackle, and then Mimas flies out through the bottom part.
It bamps out to the other side. You grab on to Mimas and then jump off the vessel.
And then Mimas
And
is a lot slower once it gets into the water. because it has
What's
a fly
your
speed, not a
movement
swim
speed?
speed.
What's your movement speed?
My movement
Underwater.
speed is like most normal creatures. I don't have an 8 swim, and it's 30.
Right.
But Mimas is only 20.
Yours is like what, 15 or something, right?
When you're underwater,
Or is it 20?
yeah, 15.
Okay.
I'm
assuming at this point you're just going to
cackle.
grab onto Mimas.
Yeah, I continue to cackle. One claw hand grabs Mimas like a giant volleyball or something, and upside down the whole time, mind you. And I just detach, and I just kind of slowly let myself sink. But then I try
jump
to
yourself off the.
But
I don't think you want to sink slowly from this, considering it'll blow. You don't want to be slow here.
How close is it to hitting the wall?
You think that now that it's been directed towards the wall and the Reaper is chewing, that the sub is going to push it into the wall next turn, about 30 feet from where you're at.
Okay, I stop my cackle and I dash.
All right. You get away to what you think is a safe distance, though you're not sure how technology works, so nothing looks like a safe distance.
It's no longer suffering from that madness. Just immediately.
The Reaper chews one last time, rips the front of the glass paneling off that you were standing inside of, Noelle, tosses it away, and as it looks inside the craft to try to bite in there, the water now flash flooding into the craft. The water hits the piping hot batteries and causes a and you hear the sound as if it were 1,000 times louder than it actually would be. Thankfully, all of you except Deborah were wearing some sort of armor that would protect you from most of the loud noise. Deborah, this is deafening. You are temporarily deafened for a small period of time, and you hear everyone's favorite loud ringing sound after an explosion and an action.
Do I need to roll a con save? Or?
Nope, it's just temporary.
Okay, so no.
It's only because of the.
So no risk of my internal organs kind of turning into jelly from being so close.
No jellification of organs. You were just out of the blast radius.
They're mostly jelly anyway.
Right. All of you feel a shock wave from this explosion. And the lights of the base illuminate the now chunks of Reaper Leviathan floating upwards out in the water. By the way, for reference, the stats I found for this creature gave this creature 155 hit points.
Ooh.
So you know how much damage that explosion would have done if you were in the submarine.
Too much.
Too much.
All right. The threat appears to be over. You are now able to, all of you, get to where Eisen and Meriel are. Eisen and Meriel, you're the first in. This underwater base looks in bad shape. There's a lot of leaks. The emergency lights are flashing. The leaks don't appear to be like super bad, just trickles at this point. But every floor has like a splash to it. That might be more of a splash in a while, but you're not sure how long that is. Some of it also appears to be vented back outside somehow. So maybe there's some preventative measures to this in the ship and the base somewhere. The base is not colossal size, but it is quite big. Couple probably easily capable of holding 2 full-sized nuclear submarines end to end. So really long, more than it is like anything else.
Is there
This
positive atmosphere?
This particular part of it, other than just the part you walked into there with the hatch, has a lot of strange glass containers in it with various sized Reaper Leviathans in it, all of which look as though they're alive, but suspended somehow, maybe by some sort of medicine or drugs. Or maybe they're just dead now because they've been down here so long with no food.
Have Mibas get a sample of the creature, since it doesn't need to breathe, so it can take its time. It's going to move like only 10 feet around through the water. But and it
There's
knows,
a lot of chunks.
And its memories are the same as mine, so it'll know how to get in. I don't need to tell it how to get in.
Okay.
It'll eventually come back.
All the rest of you file into some sort of strange science lab. Eisen, this looks very military to you. There's a lot of possible experiments of some kind being used on these Reapers. Nox, you notice several computer terminals, so do you, Zora, that are in the area involving information about this particular base, perhaps. Then there's a large door on the other side of this lab. This lab is like 2 stories with like a metal mesh grate floor that you can see through. And a lot of weird glass tubes everywhere with different, let's say, various staged Reapers in there, all of which are dead at this point, except obviously the one that you just blew up, which is now dead. But wasn't a little bit.
So all various stages of dead.
They're all various stages of dead now. Although the ones in these labs all look like they start to death as opposed to maybe being blown up by an exploding submarine. The large door on the other end, sorry, it's a huge vaulted door, says exit craft.
As Deborah enters and she sees this lab, can I attempt to, I'm proficient with alchemy stuff. I'm not sure in Dark Matter if that would count for a science lab or of these kind of science labs. But could I do some kind of check to see exactly what they were doing with these creatures, or if they are...
Sure, you can make an alchemy check. There's enough of those types of things here in this lab.
They're doing a Jurassic Park thing where it's like, oh, we'll just mix this creature with another creature. Gene splicing. Well, we got is Jack and shit. Jack left town.
What'd you get?
7.
Yep, those are definitely fish.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty sure that they were using them for something. What that is, it's well beyond what you've discovered.
That also is totally fine. Deborah's never seen these things before.
There's a lot of them, though, in various stages.
Might reshape Mimos to look like one. Be a tiny size Reaper Leviathan.
Whoa, we lost somebody. What happened?
No, they literally said they have to go.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, they gotta go.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
They were gonna leave like 15 minutes.
Have a good night.
Okay. All right. See you later, guys. I must have missed that. Sorry.
Whoops. Yeah.
Too busy describing things.
Did you want to end it here, or should we continue?
What do you guys think? This is a good stopping point. Do you want to stop here?
I'm fine either way. We started a little late, but since they had to go, I mean, it be helped.
In my opinion, we kind of got to a good stopping point. We got past the Leviathan and got into the base. That's just my opinion.
We can start next time doing a little more exploration or something.
Okay, yeah.
Next,
we'll just start in the lab.
Next time we'll be in the next 2 weeks. We won't have a delay session. That'll be nice.
Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here with us and watching the whole time. And we'll start with some plugs. I know we lost some people already because they had to go.
I can do theirs real quick.
We'll start with some plugs for the people who aren't here then. Scotty, go ahead.
Okay, so Vexy Hexy, who's playing, I can never remember their name,
Talurra.
Talurra. I was like, I knew it was Till something. Has her own Twitch channel called Fractured Moon, and it is listed down below if you're watching on Twitch. And they run their own campaigns and such on there. They're taking kind of a little bit of a hiatus, but I know every other Thursday they're running a game that our friend Aya is running, which is like magical school, but we're all detectives and we're trying to solve mysteries and stuff. So take like, I don't know, Harry Potter meets Scooby-Doo.
Cute.
And my character may or may not be Ignis from Final Fantasy 15. And he might be a bit of a tsundere for another character. It's whatever. That's their plugs, I guess.
All right. Noelle.
Oh, that's me. You can follow me on Twitter at Altaziel. I do art sometimes. For the near future, it's probably going to be a little quiet there, as well as like streams I'm on, because I'm moving pretty soon, actually. So I won't know my actual schedule until that's all done, but hopefully it won't disrupt things too much. So yeah, that's me.
Zora.
I actually do have a plug this time around. Considering we're in Dark Matter, every Thursday afternoon, Jesse is running a game called the Quest for the Quantum Rose, which I and a few other people are in. We have our own separate adventure, which at this point has taken us through several temporal leaps. And we just recently got into a new section of the galaxy and acquired apparently a mascot, which my character is not 100% enthusiastic about. But that's my plug for the night.
All right. Meryl?
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram primarily. My username is Colliloquie, and I don't do a lot of streaming or online games or anything, but my bread and butter is commissions of cute characters, be it D&D, Pokemon, vague other fandoms. As long as they're cute, I can draw them.
True. It's very true.
Eisen?
Nothing on my end.
All right. Last but not least, Scotty.
Well, thank you everyone who's watching this. Sorry we had such a delay from the last season, or not season, wow. Last session, but life happens. Next game should be 2 weeks from now, which will be in October. It'll be October the 10th. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you like the show and or any of the other shows that are on this Twitch channel, if you look down below, they have all the YouTube playlists down there. If you follow me on Twitter, which my Twitter's right below my face here, on my profile I have a flow page which has all my social media links, which includes this Twitch channel, which I guess you don't really need if you're watching on Twitch, the YouTube channel, my Fiverr account, which has all of my freelancing commission gigs that are available. I can do logo designs, character designs, even book cover designs. I haven't got anybody brave enough to try that one yet, but I can definitely do that. That's my day job, so might as well do that as extra commissions as well. And my DM's Guild materials. So I think the next game that will be on this channel will be Wednesday, where both Zora and Eisen are players in that one. And we're playing Curse of Strahd, but it's in the Humblewood campaign setting called Mists of Kryn's Valley. They just got done dealing with being on a big giant hill, and there were a bunch of druids and barbarians. Strahd was there. You know, good times.
That hill.
Yeah.
That hill's the worst.
But they got picked up by a bear with giant eyebrows who said that he was going to help them. So we'll see where that goes. That's my stuff.
All right. Well, hey, thank you everyone for watching all the way to the end here. And we will see you all next time, Space Cowboys.